Hello, and welcome to Conscious Curiosities, where we unlock the wisdom of the universe which lies within us. I'm Maria Luz, your host, an astrologer, hypnotist, and psychic medium, and I'm happy to introduce these little bonus episodes. I've been releasing every Friday on my Substack a casual audio, and the topic is life. It is started out as talking about my recovery from alcohol addiction, and it quickly morphed into more how to get through life in order to feel free, which I think we all enjoy. And I've had a lot of good feedback, so I thought I would share these on my podcast. If they are not your thing, feel free to stick with the main episodes where I talk more about mystical things and astrology. Thanks, and I appreciate you listening. Hello, you've made it to another Friday. Congratulations. Last week, I talked about free will and being brave and actually using it. And I was thinking about what is it that causes us to finally use it and change. And I was thinking about when I finally had my last day one and got sober for good. Up until that time, for decades, I think I struggled with the fear of change because it's unpredictable. Then I couldn't control it. I couldn't keep my kids safe. I couldn't keep myself safe. But I got to the point where what I feared more than uncertainty, lack of control, was sameness. I couldn't face my same old bullshit again. Another day, I just was so exhausted with the idea that a week from then I'd be equally horribly hungover again and regretting how much I drank and then going right back to it because it was my longtime tool. So that also made me think about, last week I was talking about being brave and going out to, to work for myself. And in some ways that it sounds it sounds brave, but I learned it actually wasn't. I I thought I was going to work for myself, but what really happened, the reason why I left my career, it wasn't because I hated it or I was miserable. I really did love the people, and even when I left, even though I wasn't completely aligned with um, the fact that pharma companies are have taken the idea of being for profit to the extreme, and all of the execs are they're politicians, and they're looking for the near term. They're not looking out for actual health or um, getting to a place where people are able to live, more healthfully. But that's another story. What I'm trying to say is, I wasn't so miserable personally, or like I myself had made a deal with the devil and was the cause of all of that. It really was because I had started to live a double life, and oh boy, that was familiar to when I was drinking and living a double life of, killing it on the career front, but feeling like absolute shit, sitting on my couch drinking a bottle of wine or more a night, and just paralyzed. So this time, my double life was that I had started learning that I really had a knack for astrology and hypnosis. And I felt so called to use that to free other people to make different choices that were more authentic to themselves. And I started out the business with those two things in mind. But what happened was that I learned that I was psychic and I could hold space for people who had crossed over and hold that space with their loved ones here as a medium. And so I had to just take another risk and let spirit lead me. Um, Even though in the beginning, it felt like it was just too much of a pivot to explain to people where, who had known me my whole life, um, and had known that I was this very black or white, you know, science based, driven person. And here I was living out my Pisces side, of my birth chart and communing, with source and attempting to follow where spirit is guiding me. So I'm still in that journey. And I thank you for walking with me. And I hope this gives you a little bit um, of I want to say food for thought, but um, it's more than that. Something to just let simmer below the surface as you go about your weekend and think about what is your authentic calling, and maybe you're in it already. However, it doesn't hurt to think about it. You don't have to upset your life and use your free will on Monday, but maybe let it simmer below the surface. Have a good one.